We continue the conversation with Bob Beckel down in D.C. and Steve Forbes. They had quite an argument earlier. And by the way, Bob Beckel, Steve Forbes during the commercial bought your house. Time to move.
It's a good thing because I'm in my arrears. By the way, I know this for sure, that Steve Forbes' plane was not always on time. It always gets there on time.
Yeah.
And by the way, Steve, I want you to know I'm one of the few Democrats that support your flat tax. So there you go.
Well, you're an enlightened Democrat on that, and that John McCain has a proposal for simplification. He'd have 2 brackets instead of 1, but he'd give people a choice. You could stay with the hideous old system or go to the new, and that way, Bob, we don't get hung up on what you're going to lose on deductions. You make your own choice. So
you probably don't
go.
Remember this, Steve, but when you ran for president, I rode your bus, and you explained that to me for about 6 hours. Being a football player, it took me that long to absorb the idea, but I got it. I finally got it.
Hey, Bob, let me ask you real quickly. What do you make of Barack Obama's announcement yesterday that he's going to forego the Pepsi Center to make his big announcement and instead do it in the Invesco Field with no roof, with close to 80,000 screaming fans and probably some protesters?
I think it's a terrific idea. You know why? Because he can. To get that many people there, it'll be an unbelievable visual. The last time that happened was when John Kennedy in Los Angeles moved his announcement or accepted speech to the Coliseum from the Convention Center.
Interesting.
All right, I want to go back to taxes just for a moment because we do have the financial whiz here on the couch. And Steve Forbes, you are advising John McCain, and you have been since Giuliani got out of the race in February. So McCain has come out with this idea that he can balance the budget in 4 years. A lot of economists said, not so sure about that. Where do you stand with that?
Well, the key is reining in the growth of spending. You don't even have to really cut the spending, just slow the growth of spending, which George Bush did not do and which John McCain rightly criticized him for a number of years. And so you get a vibrant economy again, and if we get this dollar strong, which John McCain wants to do, we can cut the price of oil. We get these tax cuts in. You get a strong economy, the revenues come in, little bit of spending restraint, and we're on our way. When Bush should exercise spending restraint, we would have a surplus today.
Steve, when he says balance the budget, does he mean just the budget? Because remember, the war is paid for outside the budget, or does he mean balance all federal expenditures?
I think John is looking at, Senator McCain's looking at all federal expenditures. He's been a hawk on spending. He's willing to veto some of this stuff. And I think he will go on TV when he's president and say, here's the kind of pork these guys passed. I'm vetoing it. I dare them to override it. I think he'll set a new marker on that and do what the current incumbent, George Bush, should have done 7 years ago.
All right, Steve Forbes and Bob Beckel, guys, thanks very much. This was a spirited chat. Thank you.
There'll be more ahead.
All right.
I don't get a chance to say anything?
Okay, Bob,
I don't get a response to that?
We'll give you 15 seconds on the clock. Go ahead.
Okay, part of his balanced budget amendment, John McCain, is the savings from winning the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Maybe Steve can explain to me how you get a savings off of something that's off budget and it's already cost us $500 billion. But I'm sure it's some explanation somewhere.
All right, for another time.
Stay tuned for that explanation the next time we have the two of you. Thanks very much.